All right, y'all, so I'm here at the truck, get ready to go ahead and get the pulling this radiator out. So basically, there's a couple ways you can do this. You know, it's not really no right or wrong way, just depends on what you have available to you. So if you have a crane, an overhead crane, or a engine hoist, there's, you know, either ways you can tackle it. You can just go ahead and connect to it and lift it up out of there. If you got an overhead crane, or if you got an engine hoist, you can lift it up out and then pull it out from the side. Or if you don't have either one of those, you can remove the hood, and once you take the hood off and you unbolt everything, you can actually lean the radiator a little bit forward to clear the fan. You know, you have to clear the shroud and the fan. Lean it forward, and then, you know, two people could lift it up and out of there forward if the hood was off. So in my case, I haven't decided yet. I do have a engine hoist in my storage, so I'll make that the last process when I get to that point. And if I can get my engine hoist, I'll use my engine hoist and pull it up out of here. If not, I'm going to build a crane and I'll pull it up out with the crane that way. And I did say build one, so we'll worry about that when we get to that. But right now, process, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these brace bars where they connect, one back here and one right here, and it's one on the other side. I'm going to remove this coolant reservoir, undo the sensor, the plug for the sensor, and I'm going to lean it out of the way. After I take the top hose over there off, I might leave this hose here connected, depends, but take that out of the way, and that's the first part of it. All right, and then I'm going to remove the bumper at some point, but that's not going to be until after I do the top. Then we got to take these off of the air coolers, so there's one on each side. We'll disconnect this hose. The air cooler will come out with the radiator, so we just need to disconnect the hoses. I'll show you guys over here too. See? So we just need to disconnect these hoses because this will come out as a unit. Same thing here. Disconnect the radiator hoses. All the hoses, all the stuff's connected, we're going to disconnect. There's the other line over there for that. And then again, the bumper. And then we need to discharge the air conditioning. We need to discharge the air conditioning. If you got a vacuum, you can vacuum it out. I do have a vacuum, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and you can evacuate the system and get that cleared. All right, so I'm gonna do this in sections because obviously I don't want to just, no sense of keeping the video running. So I'll get to that and then I'll get back. All right guys, part two. So I removed the brackets that I told you, and I have took the bumper off. See, bumper's gone. And I'm getting ready to go ahead and pull this coolant reservoir off. I've removed the straps that hold the hood. Very delicate situation there. And next I'm going to remove these inner panels because they'll give you a little bit more room to work over here when you want to start disassembling these bolts for that air cooler and whatnot. And then two, on the other side, when you go to hoist it out, it'll give you hoist room so you can get in here to slide the radiator out. We'll get to that later too. So 4 bolts, well, it's actually, yeah, it's 4 bolts on each side to remove the bumper. 2 at the bottom and 2 on the side here. On each side, bumper will come right off for you. And other thing is, have something to support this hood when you're going to tilt it, because it will come all the way down and it will damage. Now ideally you'll use some kind of rubber or tires or something, but I didn't, because one, I know what I'm doing, and two, my hood is already damaged because these Freightliners have a habit of the brackets separating in the inside, and it causes the hoods to come uneven, and they'll slide off. Basically it's the hinge, and they'll slide off the hinge, and then you have a problem with it because Freightliner decided to use glue, and I'll show you that. They decided to use glue here to, I know it's kind of tough to see, but can't really get a good angle, but there's glue that holds that hinge on. It's actually glued to the hood. The hinge itself is glued to the hood. If you can, there you go, that's a better idea. And you see that hole? There's 3 of those holes on here. And when I looked on the hood, I see there's 3 holes down there too. So there's one right there, one right there, and I believe there's one further down at the bottom. Well, there's at least 2 right there. I'm going to utilize those holes. I'm going to try and do 2 jobs at once. I'm going to go ahead and try and repair this. And my idea is I'm going to buy some special inserts. I'm going to drill a hole through the other side that matches up with those holes, put the inserts in there, and put bolts in that instead of using that glue, and see if we can get that to work. I'm pretty sure I can. Worst case scenario, what's going to happen if I drill through that, depending on how deep that is, I may end up with 2 holes here with the bolts sticking out. And I'm not really concerned about that, honestly, because I'd rather have those 2 bolt holes sticking out than my hood on the highway somewhere. So, you know, several $1,000 hood, I'm not worried about those 2 little holes in the bolt. I know how to dress that up and make it look good, so I'm not worried about that. But it is thick. If I get it just right, I believe I can get short enough bolts where I don't need to go all the way through. But that's a whole nother issue, and we'll deal with that when we get there. So support your hood, support the hood. So the next thing, like I said, we're going to go ahead and remove the coolant reservoir. I'm going to remove this bracket with this hose that holds this here from the radiator assembly. We're going to undo those bolts, and we're moving right along. We're moving right along. Let's see. We're going to go on the other side here. I think I showed you guys what you needed over here. Yep. So probably go ahead and remove this radiator hose while I'm here. And I think that's it for that part. And then what I do, there's the bumper there. What I do, whatever side I take the bolts off, I put them on that side of the truck. So this is the right side bar, and these are the bolts that mount that bar. And the same thing with the other side. I put them on there so that way I'm not mixing up bolts and trying to hunt for what goes to what side. So it's a little tip there. All right, well, that will conclude this half of this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish what I'm doing. So we've got our AC lines disconnected from the condenser. I've removed the fan. See the coolant reservoir up there? We've drained. We've evacuated the AC system, and we're ready to roll out. So as you can see, the radiator is loose. Let's see, hang on. There we go. See, it is ready to pretty much come up out of there. Once I get it out of there, I'll remove the shroud. Now on my unit, some trucks are different. The shroud is a 2-piece in some of the Cascadias, where you can take off the top portion and then you can just take the second portion off after you get it out, which makes getting the fan out easier. Getting the fan out is a little tedious because you're working line like this and you're loosening the bolts. You can feel them, but you just can't see them, and you're loosening them like that. With that being said, if the hood was removed, there wouldn't be a need to take the fan off, because you could essentially do this here tilt the radiator forward and pull the unit out without removing the fan. But since we're not taking the hood out, I had to remove my fan. Mainly because I didn't want to damage any of the blades, and I surely didn't want to damage the new radiator going in by scraping it against the fan. And the other thing is, the shroud would have been hitting the fan if I didn't remove it. It would have been I would have been playing with this, trying to get it out of here, and just removing the fan makes life a lot easier. So while I have it out, once I get the unit out, I'm going to clean up the threads, clean these threads up on here for the fan, lubricate them and tighten them up and whatnot. And like I said, once I get it out, I'll go ahead and swap everything over, and I'll show you guys that. The only other thing, there's 2 lines under here for your oil cooler. I'll show you those on the I can't really get it because I'm not under there. But hang on, I get it. Hang on. I done got my pants wet. Alright. Okay, where are they? Right here. So you got a line there, and you got a line there, and then your bottom radiator hose, which I'm going to take that out last. But once you crack these 2, you're pretty much ready to pull this puppy out. Here's your last 2 mounts that's holding your assembly in, and it'll lift up out of there. Alright, y'all, so it's gotten dark on me, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But radiator is out, as you can see, and there'll be some more pictures tomorrow, some better pictures, and I'll show you the radiator. There's the radiator, still mounted to the condenser. Everything looks to be cold, copostatic. We had a little scrape there. I don't know if that was there already or what, but whatever. So yeah, that's how you hoist it out with the chain. And it's pretty much going to go in the same way. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. And I don't think there's a need for me to do install.